All right, welcome back to Stretching Our Necks. Last we left, we had a pile of meat on the table and a different co-host in the chair. My dog has certainly taken over his spot, rightfully earned, and we have now transitioned to cooking our meat. We've decided to take this in a little bit different direction. We're actually recording outside because I thought it was important to, change it up. Make sure people had a different vantage point of things. Lighting was better, then the rain came in, and now the wind is kicked up and feel like we're in a ballpark. So we're going to segue right into that, and we're going to start talking about sports. First, let's check on that meat. You two are goofballs, you know that. Okay, that's looking like a mighty fine piece of meat.
Go well with the potatoes.
They will go with the potatoes my wife is whipping up, eh? That's juicy. Look at that. Ain't gonna be long, no. Then we're gonna be done.
To be moved up.
Eh? So what do you think about the Brewers leading their division, 12-8?
Well, I think it's we've seen them start out pretty strong in the last couple of seasons. Notably, a few years ago when they started off with a pretty much almost 10-0 type of record.
That was a good run, right?
Just to watch, kind of be wary of whether or not they fall apart by All-Star game.
If their pitching keeps up the way they're going, I think they got the longevity to actually make a good, decent run in October. What do you think?
Well, I will go with phrase that Woodruff said just again a couple of days ago when he talked about how he felt as though he was pulled at the right time as he was losing his gas, as he even said it, paraphrasing a bit. Now, whether or not that was Counsell pulling him at the right time because he saw that he was losing gas, or he was losing gas finally, by the time that Counsell pulled him. So,
well, that gave him up a couple extra runs, and then Counsell decided to pull him.
I think it was one of the strategies that I think worked very well for them was the one that they had a few years ago, where even though I'm a fan of a quality start, our pitchers weren't staying in for a quality start. They were
coming out in the fourth
and fifth, and getting the strongest game out of them as we could, and then.
Which is not wrong with pulling a pitcher in the fifth inning. Nothing. I don't have a complaint about that. What I do have a complaint about is if you got a guy sitting at 40 pitches in the fifth inning, and then you decide to pull him while he's on a hot streak, and he's lights out, and then, oh no, we have to go to our bullpen now because this is what the script says, and we have to do it no matter what. And Counsell's a by-the-book man. No matter what, he's going to do what the front office tells him. Right? He has no individualism at all. He has no feel for the game. And he's going to do, well, our money ball says we have to do this now. And that's what he does. And it bothers me. Now, he left Corbin Burnes in the other day. And Corbin Burnes was on a hot streak, but he was riding 80 pitches into the sixth, right?
Yeah.
And so his pitch count's getting up there, and he's leaves him in. So what's the difference between Woody going 5 innings and sitting at 40 pitches, or Burnes going 7 innings and sitting at 80? It doesn't seem like there's a lot of consistency in what Counsell does.
Well, you got to, yeah, it comes down to just eyeing the pitchers and being a little bit more observant, or to seeing when the things are about to cut. Go loose on them, and then balls start getting hit.
Well, Woody in that game seemed like he lost a lot of command an inning or two before he actually got pulled. But Counsell decided, hey, we need to in April, see if we can get more arm out of him, or I don't know. April doesn't seem to be the month to be getting arm out of your guys. But yeah, council decided that I have a pitcher who's giving up a few runs. I'm going to leave him in, see what he has. But then you got a pitcher like Burns or Peralta sitting there, they're lights out. They're getting ground outs, flyouts, strikeouts. They're only at 40, 50, 60 pitches going into the fifth, and then they yank. Where's the consistency? I don't see any with council. Everybody's all talking this guy up like he's the next greatest manager. I couldn't even compare him because I don't think he's a very good manager. So what are we thinking here on council? Does he have a feel for the game?
No, I don't think he does.
No, I don't think he does either. Renicky. Renicky was my guy. I've always been high on Renicky. I think Renicky kind of made moves that, at the moment you could feel, it was time. Yeah, but I'm biased. I have a Renicky fascination. I think he did a great job. And I think he kind of got the shaft, so I'm biased against council, right? So I kind of want to be a little more open about that. I think council's a crap manager. Always have. But is he making the right moves when needed?
Well, again, on that, I gotta say that if the winning record keeps going, I mean, if they're able to keep pulling out some of these games and they're playing the teams that you would normally say, well, this is an easy win for the Cubs. This is an easy win for the Dodgers. And if you're playing with the math and you're gonna you're doing that, you still got to give yourself a chance to make a on-the-spot decision rather than just dealing with what a sheet of paper says that the statistics are going to be.
Right, which we just experienced it with the Brewers got pummeled last night, 50-2, and now they turn around today and they come back and they win a 4-3 ball game. Statistics say they got pummeled last night, so they're going to win today. You just can't. You have to bounce back from a game like that. Mathematically, they were going to win today no matter what they did. Still damn near lost the game. Late innings, Hader being used as a closer instead of a setup guy. I'm a big fan of that. I think Hader should be a 6th, 7th, 8th inning guy, not a 9th inning lockdown guy, right?
Right, no, I've said that for a long time. Hader is good for 7-8 because if you're going to throw away a game, you got innings to pick it up after.
Right, because he's going to give up that long ball.
Whereas you get somebody who is like Devin Williams, who actually I think has a little bit more control on his ball, and it's
got a little more velocity to him.
And probably has got a much better chance of being an overall closer.
I like Devin Williams. I'm pretty high on Devin Williams. I think he would be a much better closer than Hader would be. I think Hader, he has that striking power, and that slider is vicious. It's absolutely brutal. But turn side to that is when he's coming in with them fastballs, he's going to give a big one up. He might even give 2 big ones up. If you're bringing him in to be a shutdown guy in the mid-innings, you got time to turn it around, right? He's going to give you more often than not. He's going to give you a lockdown inning.
Yep.
But there's always that chance of him giving that big one up, which, if you're in the 9th inning, you can't exactly come back from.
Nope. And I think we saw that over the last couple of years that, that, they just throw Hader in because, that's...
You got that big arm.
But he's got, that big popularity. Oh my God, we got to bring in Hader. Everybody talks about, it's Hader. He's going to be fantastic.
Right. Just like Chapman was.
But I've seen more blown games from Hader than I have
anybody else.
From many other teams' closers who
was that Marlins guy that used to come in on the lockdown like that, and then they switched him over? I think he passed away now. He got in that bolt wreck. Was that one of their starters or was that one of their closers?
Cannot tell you.
Yeah, I think I'm drawing way too deep for that one. Anyway, so looking at Hader, looking at Council, looking at the Brewers, they're 12-8. They're sitting at the top of their division. All right, you start looking at the other divisions. You got LA sitting at the top of their division. Do you think the Brewers have a chance to play against an LA team? They're 14-7 right now. The Brewers are 12-8.
Well, I think that's closer than they've been the last couple years as far as talent goes. Milwaukee's never going to afford, the big players. But
well, let's talk about the big players. They went out and they got Yelich. They went out and they got Kane. I'd say that's a couple big players, right?
yeah, and I'd say so. But when you had just a while back, when you had chances at Chris, making an actual money attempt at Chris Sale or something of that nature.
Would that not have been awesome to grab a Sale?
Or some of these others, then.
How about last year when they were, or not last year? Last year was COVID years, so the year before that when Kimbrel was on a chopping block, right?
Exactly.
And Cubs had a chance to get him, which they ultimately got him. But the Brewers had a very, very good market to go ahead and grab Kimbrel. He wasn't looking for a very long-term contract, just a couple of years, and he wasn't looking for very high money. But yet the Brewers passed on Kimbrel. Why?
That's something that would be another great example of what I was saying is they just. If you're gonna make the run, it's put your money where your mouth is.
Right. Well, the Cubs got him. They didn't get him at the deadline. They didn't get him in free agency. They got him partway through the year. He was overweight, slow, not even working out, and they still somehow got him, and they got him for less than what he wanted. The Brewers had the room to go get him, and they just left him sit there. Now, if you would have had a Kimbrel, if you would have had Kimbrel closing and Hader setup, you got that 1-2-3 punch with the starter, the setup, and the closer, right? What could you have done in a 60-game season last year? You could have been on top of the division. Instead, you finished 4th. Now, that's the kind of things that I'm talking about with Attanasio as an owner. Is Attanasio actually giving these guys the room to go out and win championships, or are we suckers? Which buy into a team that's mid to minor level market that we just buy in and say we're going to watch the Brewers no matter what.
True. We'll see as we get closer to.
No, yeah, absolutely. Obviously, we're only 20 games in. It's not like we're at a huge point in the year where, everything's on the line heading for October, right? I mean, we're very, very early. But it is exciting. It's exciting. Baseball's back. COVID's kind of on a downtrend. We get a full season, and it's kind of nice to be able to sit there and watch this. And I love it. I absolutely love it. My boys played ball. I love watching ball. Everything's about ball, right? So you want to be able to see this. But does this give you hopes with the July deadline coming up? Because there's only the one now. You don't have you have one hard deadline. You don't have multiple deadlines. You have the free agency deadline. That's all you have now. So does this give you hope running into that deadline that maybe we will make moves? Maybe with all these. I mean, look at McKinney. Nobody even knew who this guy was, and now he's banging on home runs like the next champ, right?
Yeah.
We got Garcia. I mean, we had him last year, but did we know what we had last year? We went into a season kind of not knowing. The whole season started out kind of not knowing what you had. Braun decided to sit it out. I'm not going to play anymore. Last year you had Kane sit it out. You didn't know what Kane you were going to get back this year. Was he going to be some fat guy kind of just hustling out there in the center? Or was he going to be the Kane of old? And now you got Yelich coming back off injury, which he's now getting an MRI. We just saw that today. He's getting set for an MRI. He's on a 10-day DL. And we got all these young guys stepping up, coming in. And they're just banging away, man. Does that inspire confidence that Attanasio is going to give the go-ahead to go get some guys and make a good run?
No.
No, I didn't think so. Why? Why no? It's not just a flat-out no. Why no?
Because we have, there's experience of it. Look at the 2018 season. Brewers making it to the playoffs. They could have done some amazing things. They could have gotten some could. I mean, pushed for the players. They could have.
Oh, that season could have been so great.
I mean, but you're, you're not. You're going for the win, or you're just going to play 162 games.
It kind of feels like the Brewers are literally just there to play 162 games. It doesn't feel like they're actually going in for any kind of game. It seems like, hey, look, we put butts in the seats. I believe it's not Miller Park anymore. It's American Family Insurance, right? So you kind of taken away the entire aspect of Miller Park, and now we just want to generate revenue. It doesn't feel like they're going all in saying, hey, we want to bring Milwaukee a championship. No, I agree with that. I agree with that absolutely. They're kind of going, how do we keep you on that hook? How do we just keep reeling you in, and never actually giving you what you want? Well, this is how. Get a bunch of young kids coming up, giving you some highlights, and then leaving it that way. I really hope Antanasio wants to go all in one time. Just one time. We ain't looking for multiple back-to-back wins here. We just want one, right? What was the last one? 72? 82? 82. Bucks was 72. So the last time we were even in a World Series, which we missed out completely in 2018, all because of the Dodgers, right? Well, who are you going to have to face this year if you want to get to the series? More than likely, you're going to have to go through LA, right?
Yep.
Are we going to go out and get the players we need to go to LA?
That's something we'll be paying attention to here as we reach closer to that deadline.
Well, here's hoping, right?
That's it.
All right, so now we'll transition into video games. So you have a computer game, and I have an Xbox game, both about baseball. Now, what is the name of your game?
Out of the Park 21.
Out of the Park 21. Obviously, I have the show. So, both of them allow franchise mode, and you get a rating. So, where do the Brewers rate on Out of the Park?
Well, they bounced. I can play a season, and so I can be all the way into halfway through the year.
No. I'm just asking at the beginning, if you decided you wanted to go into franchise mode and run that team, where do they stack up according to the game that you start out at?
I don't think I pay attention.
Oh, okay. All right, fair enough. That's easy enough. You're going to go with the Brewers no matter what?
Yeah.
Yeah, all right. I wasn't. I actually looked around on the show and decided, who do I want to manage? The show gives you the option to have your own player that you rank up through, all the series before you get invited to the show, right? So I looked at the Brewers, and the Brewers were utterly one of the worst teams you could manage. Well, we know that's not true, though, right? Because even in the MLB, you actually get ranked in the middle of the pack. But not on the show. On the show, they get bounced all the way down. Why? They're not Miami Marlins. Why the heck are they down there ranked with the Miami Marlins? Yeah, media bias. The media doesn't actually like the Brewers because they're a smart market club. They don't actually have any interest in them, and they don't generate enough revenue for them. So do you think revenue actually has a place in what dictates what you can do? Should it? Should it? Not does it. We already know it does.
Well, it always does.
But should it? Or should we start opening it up to like NFL profit sharing? So even the small teams can compete.
There is that already. So, there is that in the MLB.
No, there's still no salary cap. You have the luxury tax, but you don't have the salary cap. You can spend whatever you want. You just have to pay a penalty if you go above a certain amount. Not an actual hard salary cap like you have with the Dallas Cowboys. So with the Dallas Cowboys, if you go over this amount, you have to pay this amount, which is exponential. But with Major League Baseball, it's just luxury tax. You're paying for the privilege of having extra cap, right? So I wouldn't exactly say it's the same, but if you could if you could dictate, I wouldn't even want to say dictate. If you could somehow level the playing field of the smaller markets, and I ain't going socialist here. I'm just saying, if somehow they have a Major League Baseball Association, right? It's MLB. If you could somehow split those profits evenly so you can have a more competitive group playing as a whole versus one team being good all the time, wouldn't that be a better product?
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, I could absolutely see that, right?
Yep.
Your TV revenue's yours, but your jersey sales we're going to split between everybody. Yeah? Maybe make sure, again, you're getting into territories here that seem like the earmarks of socialism, but yet as a whole, how do you want to run your company? Do you want to make it competitive so everybody has a fair chance every year to win? Or do you want to keep keeping the small teams down? Right now we have clubs that literally tank so they can start building up their farm team. Right? That's not a good thing. How could that be a good thing? I don't know. It seems that there could be a way to where you could eliminate some of this trade deadline BS into not necessarily. I don't know. That's a hard thing. That's a hard thing to discuss because you don't want to say, "Oh, you have to do it by this," because you want to leave the teams open. You want to make sure that when they need a chance to rebuild, they can rebuild because. All right, well, Ryan Braun, prime example, his contract was crazy. But now you guys got offering guaranteed contracts for, I think the last contract that was signed was like for 9 years, $150 million, all guaranteed money. That's crazy, right? But Milwaukee could never offer that kind of contract, could they? No. They have, but it almost bankrupted the team, and they could get nobody else. They could offer that contract, but they're not going to be able to make more than one offer on that contract, right?
Right.
So you're going to get one really, really good player, but this isn't basketball. One really, really good player is going to make you a World Series team, is it?
Definitely not.
Definitely no. In basketball, you can get one really, really, really good player given that Supermax contract. And then you can get some supporting characters around him that allow the team to be competitive. But not in baseball, that's not how it works. You have 8 other players on that field with you, right? Which, I'm not asking you right, I'm just saying you're right. Alright, so look, this meet's about done, it's about dinner time. That fire's getting stoked pretty good. I think we're going to draw a conclusion here. We're going to go back here and shamelessly plug some of our social media accounts and fundraising accounts. And bring it back to my Rocky. Alright, look. This entire podcast is meant to be something me and a buddy of mine shared just because we talk about this stuff on a daily basis and we want to share with people that have like minds. My goal, not his goal, my goal is to bring awareness to Second Amendment issues and make sure that we try and get some funding to help people get their rights back. Or not lose them in the first place. So we are literally stretching our necks out for you. Follow us on Rumble, YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram at Stretching Our Necks. Follow us on Twitter at Stretching R Necks. You can go find us at GoFundMe if you want to donate to try and help people who are actually convicted of crimes for having a weapon. We are trying to top the NRA by just doing one thing for people who own guns. NRA never seems to be able to actually complete that task, even though they have more influence than I could ever hope to have.